Scott. Thanks for doing this with us, Scott. Greatly appreciate it.
No problem.
So today, all we want to do is just basically get a bit of vibe of how the whole process has been, because we're almost 9 months in now. So you just want to take a little bit of a litmus test. Okay, so let's start with, please tell us a little bit about yourself and the business that you're in.
Okay, yeah, I'm Scott Taylor. I'm the Managing Director of a small business called Australian Sports Camps, and we put on holiday sports coaching programs for children around Australia, and have been doing so for about 35 years.
Nice. That's a long time in business.
Yeah, no, we've certainly managed to stand the test of time, so we must be doing something wrong. But want to get to the next level.
I think a lot, right? All right. We're trying our best to get you there. So, could you tell us about the challenges you were facing as a business before we came on board?
Yeah, I guess we had a lot of manual sort of systems. Our email marketing consisted of a digital marketing package, but the back end of that was sort of managed via a list of the names and addresses based on Excel. That was very time-consuming, clunky kind of process, and so we wanted to invest in a database system. We saw that as the way forward. But unfortunately, we fell over at the first hurdle because the people that we decided to partner with, the first system just didn't do. After a briefing, it still didn't do what we needed it to do. So that fell over at the first hurdle. They implemented a new software application, and we got up and running. So that was really one of the major challenges for the business. We had this vision of being better, and how do you get better? Well, you implement a database system, but it just didn't make us better. So that was the fundamental.
Yeah, sanctity of data is one of the most important aspects that you start with in the CRM. So, we understand. So, what were the challenges in finding out that these are the people I want to go with?
Well, yeah, I mean, the partner that we had just wasn't delivering on the vision. That was big on promises and short on delivery, and they just really didn't, in my view, spend enough time up front really trying to understand our business and the way it worked and what were the drivers and the fundamental drivers of profitability. And so they shortcut that process, and it really came back to bite us because we seem to be forever chasing our tail as they and their team suddenly understood kind of, okay, now I get you need this functionality and why you're doing this the way you're doing it. So that was a fundamental problem and frustration, is that the previous provider didn't spend enough time up front understanding our business.
Exploring the business and the problems and the challenges that they're facing currently, I guess.
Yeah, true. And there was no sort of forward looking to in terms of it was very much focused on the as is situation. What is it you've got now? How do we turn that how do we implement that with the database, rather than the should be scenario? Where should this business be? What should it look like? How can we help you get there? So, again, it was just too focused on the short term rather than looking at the
this comes to the question of, before we started with you, what made you choose QL? What convinced you that this is going to be a good decision?
Well, QL Tech came to us with a personal recommendation from our SEO provider. So the word of the mouth was a strong influencer there. But that was based on the results that you had been able to deliver, concrete results that you've been able to deliver for other clients. So, that got our attention. So that was important. And I guess having been on a journey, a flawed journey that to implement a database, we were a lot, savvy and more wise to, how the process should go. And so, I guess almost from the get-go when we engaged with the guys, you were just following the right process and you were asking the right questions. So that gave us some confidence up front that we were actually going to get to the right place.
I guess my charm on that.
QL Tech takes care of almost have elements.
Well, it's important, isn't it? I mean, if you're going to deal with people, and you've got to like and trust them, don't you? So that's important.
Yeah. So, did you have any doubts and hesitations even after we came recommended, and even after we hit it off on our first call onwards, that before, as we were starting out with you, like because of your negative moment of truth with the previous provider, and how did you overcome it and decide that, no, I'm going to give these guys a fair crack?
Well, yeah, we were on a scale of wariness, 1 to 10, we were probably about an 11. I think, given our prior experience has been so negative and costly. The costs of the database is a significant investment, especially for any business, let alone a small one. So that was sort of the framework and the mindset. So we were very wary, and also mindful of not getting burnt, again, and just making sure we got it right. I was sort of hesitant too about, are we going to get value for money for this process? And we're a Melbourne-based business. QL Tech is a Perth and Indian-based business, so I was a bit skeptical at how that might work and whether that would be an issue or not. It absolutely hasn't, and almost if anything, the benefits far outweigh the
So, in a nutshell, irrespective of us not being on-site and us being off-site, it did not play a role in execution, would you say? Or we almost nulled that effect with our process?
Yeah, no, look, it didn't affect execution. You've got a great suite of tools and, for online collaboration, and, they're, well known and relevant, like Google Sheets and the like, but that process worked really well. And the other thing was, when we'd go to sleep, you guys would still be working through the Australian night, and we'd arrive to work, and we had a whole lot more work to do. So,
yes, I guess kept you on your toes. Yes.
It was
okay.
It was around the clock kind of project management approach. It worked well.
Maybe pride ourselves on that, dotting the I's, crossing the T's. So let's talk about during the build of the CRM and during the build of the whole strategy and so forth. So what was the experience like when we were setting the plans out for you and starting out, just showing what the promised land would look like? What was that experience like?
Yeah, look, it was an excellent experience. works right from the get-go. I think you certainly painted the vision and, made a very compelling case as to why we should be embarking on this journey and how all the pieces interrelated and fitted together. So it was a very holistic approach. You didn't just say, you didn't just consider one element. It was, a process that just encompassed everything, from the database to various digital marketing channels, how they're integrate with each other, reporting, just all tied up neat bow. But you managed to break it down into very manageable, implementable steps. So I remember, I think, remarking to you one stage, I say, wow, this is just, almost so huge, it's so scary, daunting, but, you were able then as an organisation to break it down into manageable parts, and then with how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, so that's what we did.
So you're aware of this process of us. So when we take on a client, we do a source stack for them, right? So basically, we just sit down and we meditate on the problem case. Well, we do more than that. But what did you think about the source stack approach before starting the work?
Well, before starting, I was conceptually got the idea that the concept of going through a planning and discovery process, and saw the validity of the approach. I guess I was worried about whether I would get value from that approach, and just how much it would cover. And I went to some lengths to just make sure that we would get a document out of the other end of the process that, would result in actionable things that could improve our business. And you guys delivered on that, and in bucket loads, and we did. We got a great value document that really gave us a roadmap, but probably as importantly, you guys out of that really had an unparalleled sort of understanding of our business, and you were suggesting things to us, and there was a lot of interact back and forth. And, I guess you were good at challenging us to consider different angles and different things. And so, the net result was a very comprehensive kind of starting point of the approach, where you guys understood exactly what we were about. We also understood, where we needed to go to the roadmap.
So now I would like to talk about just one more point on SoftStack. Do you think we executed that in a timely fashion? So we effectively laid out, say, about 2 to 3 weeks where we basically wanted to deliver that document. Do you think that was delivered within that time period? Do you think we did a great job in just a small time period to understand the landscape of the problem, or what the business wants and where the business wants to be?
Oh, look, yeah, absolutely. It was when you see the delivered document and how comprehensive and how many aspects it covered. And the turnaround was extraordinarily quick given the magnitude of the task. And I think that that's a trademark of QL Tech is you've got you can really do some heavy lifting and turn things around really. That's great.
Thanks for the feedback. That's great. So let's talk about 9 months in, the life 9 months in. So how has it changed for ASC? So with all the work that we've done, how's life different now at work?
Yeah, well, finally we've got a database that actually works, and it's got a number of safeguards in it to stop the data getting polluted, because part of the process we had to go through was that there was an enormous amount of data cleanup because our previous system hadn't taken account of a number of different areas, and that the result was a lot of data was was an enormous task to sort of fix that up. So, we're now 9 months in. We've got a system that works, which is massive tick because we didn't have it before. The data within it is clean, as much as you can possibly get that, and we're confident that it will stay clean as well to a much higher degree. We've got processes in place to make sure that it does. And it's the insights into the business, I think, now that that are flowing into the database. We're now seeing really how the business is ticking. We've got a bunch of useful information that's making us more operationally efficient. I mean, I'll give you one example. It's a very small example, but this is indicative of some of the improvements we've got. A lot of mums and parents, they ring up and they're naturally anxious that their child is going to have a safe and enjoyable time at one of our holiday camps. They're entrusting their precious kids to us. So, and part of that is, will my kid, will they fit in? And are there going to be other children of the same age and same ability? So we have now in the CRM in real time, as each booking comes in, we now have data ranges so we can tell, how many kids are aged 8 to 10, 10 to 12 and the like. So before we have to try and investigate that through the back end, it's a very cumbersome process. So now we've immediately got that information at our fingertips. And that in itself, I think, is very reassuring for parents. It's also pretty impressive to be able to tell that, provide that information in real time. Our customers are sort of responding accordingly. So, I mean, that's just one very small example, and maybe seem not trivial, but that's sort of the level of detail and one example of how the system is now an extension of our business, helping us run the business and manage it better.
I think you've nailed it there, because you're looking at your business from a user's perspective as to what your users want to know from the business, as to how many kids are there in that particular camp of that particular age range. And if you can convey that information, they convert better.
Yes.
So that means more bookings. So great insight. Now, is there any part of the project that we did for you would have liked us to do differently? And if there is, which one?
That's a tough one, Raj, because you've got the triple tick from us based on, because we had a real life comparison. We saw the worst, and then you guys came in and sort of saved the day. So I really can't. I look back, and we've talked about this as well, that it was a really large project that neither of us really fully grasped before the undertaking, and we covered so much ground in such a short time. So that's off the
Thanks, Scott. Very good. So in terms of, are there any quantifiable gains or savings in terms of time or effort or money that you can share?
Well, I think initially, we're probably under some pressure to, always been under pressure to maybe increase staff numbers to just do a lot of this sort of admin kind of task, and particularly as it winds up to school holidays, there's a big workload on staff, getting a lot of calls and a lot of booking. But this system is really just taking the pressure off us to really, add to headcount. So I think it's certainly making us more efficient. Some of the reporting that I personally had to do used to take me a few hours, if not a couple of days, every camp run, and now that's at a, push of a button. You have to load in the venues as we book them, but now that process is automated too, so it's another time saving. So it's definitely made us more efficient and closer to the customer in terms of the insights that we're seeing from the information, and also the information that we're able to provide them.
See, all these small things are going to add into like a juggernaut effect to achieve the next goal you set out, which when we go and start thinking about it, will be now a question of growth. Like, how can we grow more?
Well, that's right. I mean, it's always been I'm a big believer of continuous improvement, and this is just, we just work on those 1% and 2% and get 1% or 2% better, on a whole basket of different measures, and then, all of a sudden, that's right, the business makes a stepwise change. So, I'm confident that there's much bigger things to come with ASC. This will help us.
Right. So, firefighting, is that still an issue, or has that reduced immensely since the development?
Sorry, Raj.
Like in terms of firefighting, like resolving small issues that was always coming out because of the data not being polluted and so forth. Is that still an issue, or do you think that's considerably reduced or almost nullified? So the staff are basically more focused on achieving the goals that they need to, rather than fixing what has happened in the past. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, sure, we've got a lot more confidence in the system. Every new system, there's troubleshooting involved. So, we've spent time and effort on that. But, again, you guys have supported us that as we've raised issues, overnight, you've fixed the problems, come up with great solutions, and, we're a lot further ahead than perhaps I thought we'd be. But yeah, when it's the automation that you get, it's the reports at your fingertips, that you can get, and then not have to waste time doing it. Before we used to, the website, the back-end website was our one point of truth. So all the reporting came from there, but now everyone's got confidence in the CRM and the reports come from the CRM, which is great.
All right, so just anything else you would like to tell us, Scott, as to what we could have, that you would like from us, and so that we can help ASC reach new goals and so forth?
Oh, well, so keep up the work. To journey this stuff, in a small business with 8 to 10 employees, the people that you partner with, they become extensions of your business, and they have to be able to hold up their own end. So hats off to you guys. You are one of those partners. You make it better. So just looking forward to keeping on going and achieving the next goal.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right, Scott. Thanks heaps for that. I think that's it for now.